What's up guys, it's Eddie and today I'm going to do another terrain video. I'm going to show you how to make a fuel tank for your miniatures out of simple things you can find around your house and your trash. Now this type of terrain is referred to as trash terrain. I really do love trash terrain. It's a really creative way of making super cheap terrain. It sparks a lot of creativity in me, just taking random things and piecing them together to make something that's much cooler looking. And this one right here is a really simple piece. It's really not too difficult. And it's completely made out of just random things I had lying about. Some of these pieces you might not have exact matches for, but you can easily replace them with other things, and I'll talk about that in the video. All right, let's get into it. To start, I'm just going to give you the main pieces you're going to need to build this terrain. Now this is just a foam board. I've already pre-cut it for the size that I need. Black, white, doesn't matter. This right here is a water bottle. It's a smart bottle of water. It's actually an off-brand, but any kind of like long bottle of water will work. This is a cap to like one of my daughter's little juices we get from the gas station, like bug juice or whatever. I actually lost that and had to replace it, so there you get more than one thing. Those are small plastic things that came off these ceiling fans. Anything like that that's kind of like that L shape that you can fit as to work as the the mounts for the fuel tank will work. And that right there was just a curved like pipe piece. You can get the pipe pieces from the hardware store if you want, but that's just something that I got out of my daughter's toys. They have like a bathtub toys with a bunch of little tubes and stuff that they pour water in. I kind of stole it from them. And then you're just going to want that pipe to make sure it fits over like so. It can go all the way over to where it covers the whole thing, or it's just covering the cap. So you have a little bit of leeway as far as the sizes go. Now you are going to want to try to get it about the size of that pipe, where it's going to be just where it barely fits over that lid. You can't go bigger. It looks better perspective wise. You know, bigger pipe makes it look like it's just different. When you put your miniatures up to a pipe about that size, it looks about right. Okay, so now all I'm really going to do now is just take this lid off. I like to keep those caps. They're always useful for something else. Now I'm just going to take some super glue and glue around the edge of this bottle. I prefer the gel super glue. It just seems to stick. Now I'm going to apologize now. I did go off screen here and work on it. I'm still getting used to working in front of this stuff in front of the camera. It's hard for me not to want to pull it up close to my eyes. But yeah, just simple super glue, and then I'm just take the pipe, stick it on there. And I'm going to set it somewhere where it can kind of dry without me having to hold it and keep the position I want it to. Now I'm just going to create a gate valve for the fuel storage tank, or chemical storage, whatever you want it to be. Right there what you saw was a Hot Wheels steering wheel, as I show you at Hot Wheels now that I cut it out of. Yeah, it's just a regular steering wheel, which I'll be using as the hand wheel for the gate valve. This actual thing that I'm about to create actually was lost. I say it was lost. My son got a hold of it, and it's nowhere, depending, it could be anywhere. Throw in the trash or no telling what. And so all I'm really going to do is just take this Hot Wheels steering wheel and glue it onto that cap. And I'll make another one at the end and I'll show it to you, but it's the same concept. Now I messed up and actually got a little bit of glue on my finger, which what you're seeing now is the steering wheel kept on trying to stick to my finger. So it took a little bit of work, but I got it to stick on there. Now, as I was measuring it and kind of making sure that everything was going to fit on here, I noticed an issue. As you can try to see here, it's kind of hard to see with the angle of the camera and everything, but those tank mounts, that's what we're calling them, that I had used in the previous one worked perfectly fine. This one doesn't work quite as well. It's because of that L shape it's because of the pipe there. It's a little higher, and so those mounts aren't going to quite match up. They're a little too low. So I'm going to have to finagle something here to make it work. And so this one's a little off kilter, and that's no problem. It's actually good for you guys to see this, that, you know, if you run across issues, no problem. You just, you know, you got to troubleshoot it and figure out what to do. And so basically what I did was I took some small slivers of some styrofoam. I keep a lot of these extra bits and slivers of styrofoam, and I just put some wood filler on it and let it dry. And then I painted it up and put it on there as like little hills, and they fit on there perfectly fine. Another thing you probably noticed is it didn't use glue to put the mounts on these little hills, or whatever you call them. I used the wood filler and just kind of put it around the edges to hold them on there. Honestly, it's typically what's going to work better for me anyway. After those pieces dry, which doesn't take long with wood filler, I simply just used the actual makeshift tank to measure it and glued those pieces down onto the foam board using just regular old PVA glue. And then I am going to go back through, as you see, and take the wood filler just to fill in the whole top of the base. I want to make sure that the wood filler and the heels kind of mesh well together, and I'm not having like this obvious disjointed section. So I'm going to fill in all really good around those two as well, just to kind of get a natural incline. I'm also going to use this to get those edges really well. You can leave those edges fine, blank, or whatever. I just prefer to have it look like a more rocky look on the edges. I just think it looks better, but some people like it that way. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of up to you. And this isn't going to take too long to dry. As you can see, it's drying on my fingers. I'm putting it on. But because the wood filler does dry really fast. And after it is dried, I'm actually just going to take it outside and just use flat black spray paint, and I'm going to spray paint the whole thing. Now, if you don't happen to get the entire edges of the wood filler filled in, be warned that the spray paint will eat away at the foam. It's not that big a deal. You don't have to keep spraying it. Honestly, that's why I like to prefer to use this black foam board, because it doesn't typically show as well. But, you know, it's a little more expensive, so using white foam board is just fine. So when you spray paint it and you keep seeing white spots in there, ignore them. You can fill those in with paint. Now, after it's dried, yeah, you can see the end result here. I also, while I was out there, went ahead and painted the tank. Just spray painted it all black, flat black. And so I can go ahead and kind of work on each back and forth as I go from this point on. And you can see here the wood filler actually caused the foam board to warp a little. Not a big deal. It's pretty fixable. And then even if it is slightly warped, it's not really that big a deal. It happens all the time with this stuff. I'm just going to start painting this ground here. I am going to start it out by painting it with a burnt umber. It's a really dark brown. And I'm not really going to try to do too much with this, because I know I'm going to be covering this with static grass. And it's not something I typically do with this piece, but since I had to add the heels, I thought it just looked more natural and a lot better if I actually did some kind of like ground or heels. Typically I would just do this like in a concrete type situation, because I know it's just weird. I know I'm an ex-fueler in the military, and so I know that you wouldn't just have this thing sitting on grass or dirt. It's a definite, you know, environment hazard at that point. But, you know, since I did the little heels, I had to kind of make do. We are troubleshooting, and we're trying to, you know, working our way around the situation. So I'm going to do this in the ground. And the first thing, like I said, is using this burnt umber. And it's just painting the whole thing. I'm not worried about dry brushing at this point. I'm just painting the whole thing, just burnt umber. So I don't expect to see any, if very little black coming through at this point. Right now our tank's kind of boring. It's just a flat black. So I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing on this in different shades and colors, just to try to give it just a little texture, just something, right? And so the first thing I'm going to use is this Pavement. It's just a dark gray. I'm going to do relatively light dry brush here around it on the edges. It's just trying to give it something other than that black. And I'll go back over in other colors to do a little more with it later. Now I'm just going to paint the pipe, and I'm using metallic blue. I chose metallic blue because I kind of wanted it to have like a centerpiece, something to make that piece pop. You could do just a normal silver if you want. Now I'm just going to go ahead and paint the tank mounts. And I paint these in the Leadbelcher, which is a Games Workshop Citadel paint. You could probably use something else. I just like this. It's kind of like a mixture of a black and a silver. It just makes it look good. And so yeah, I just go through real quick and paint these. And this isn't the easiest thing to do for me since my handshake. But, you know, I just try to be really careful and take my time and get it done. Now I'm just going to go back over the pipe and just use like a regular silver, and I'm just going to put some details in it, you know, paint the little spots there. You see the edges of the pipe, just to kind of give it something different. I don't want just one bland color all the way through. Now once again, this is not the easiest thing for me with my hand shaking, but you know, I do use like the palm to brace and just slowly go through it and take my time with it. Now, I had one of my clips actually get accidentally deleted, which isn't a big deal, honestly. All I did was go back over that base with a lighter brown. It's called Real Brown. And I stopped there, and now you see I'm just putting glue on here where I'm just going to put some static grass. Typically I would go a little further. I would use a color called bark brown and do a light dry brush, and then follow that up with like a tan or a beige color to do my final dry brush. But since I'm covering this in grass, I'm really not too worried about it. Now here I'm just trying to put the static grass on and spread it out, and I'm not too worried about covering every inch of this. Honestly, if there's little spots and little patches of brown showing through, that's fine. It actually looks pretty good. And I'm trying to avoid getting any glue or grass on that back side of those hills because it's more of a steep incline. I think it would look kind of cool there without it. Now here I am trying to remake the gate valve that my son lost. And that steering wheel is off a larger vehicle. I think it's probably a monster truck, but you know, the smaller one works fine. I just thought it would be cooler to do a larger one. And so I'm just going to super glue it onto this actually blue cap. That is a cap from a like chapstick. It's one of those little candy chapsticks my daughter had lying around. I snatched it up when she was done with it. Now I'm going to let this dry, and then I will come back when it's done and dried. I'll take it outside and spray paint it the same flat black I like the other ones. And then I'll come back inside and fix it up. Now I'm ready to super glue the tank on, and I'm trying to help with some of the bowing of the base, and I just weighed down the edges with like the wood filler and I think a spackle, and I'm just going to use a glue gun to glue it on. Now, I've tried using super glue in the last one, it did not stay on. I tried using heavy duty glue, it did not work. Hot glue is the only thing I've been able to get these to work with, and so I'm just going to hot glue it down and let that sit for a while. Now I'm just going to go over all these pieces. They're supposed to be metal, the mounts, the tank, the pipe, everything, with a color called Orange Flame. I found that it works really good for like a rust, and so I want this to look really rusty, like it's kind of been sitting out here abandoned for a little while. Now I'm just going to go back over this again, do another dry brush, this time in a silver, just to add a little more detail, a little more texture, a little more weathering look to it. Now off screen I was working on the new gate valve, and I was painting the hand wheel of this Leadbelcher, the same color that I was painting the bases with. And then I went back over it with a rust and a silver just to give it some detail and some weathering looks to it. After I'm done with the gate valve, I'm just going to use the glue gun to glue it down. And then I'm going to go around the base of the pipe with the glue gun, just do like a ring around it. I'm going to paint this and make it look like slime, just like, you know, like it's leaking a little. I think it looks like a little extra something, makes it look cool. Now I'm going to use another Citadel or Games Workshop paint. It's called Nurgle's Rot. This is what I'm just going to use to color in the slime look around the base of the pipe there. It's a technical paint that I use a lot. If you don't have it, it's very useful. I'll get my hands on it. That's all it really takes, is just a little time, effort, and just having the right parts for it. A lot of these things, like I said before, can be replaced by other things. It looks pretty similar. And just like any other piece of terrain that I make for my videos, this piece will be given away as well. And I think it's going to make a really interesting piece on a game table. I've made one of these before. It's at the store now. And so this is not the first one I've made of these. As far as how to win this piece of terrain, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Now the comment down below can't just be any comment. It needs to be something specific, because I just have random people sometimes just comment just to kind of get me to comment on their videos as well. And they're never going to reply to my winning, so I don't even waste my time with it. So I make something specific. And so today we're going to, what you're going to need to put down in the comment is the exact name of the paint that I use to make the slime look on the pipe here. It's right there at the very end of the video, so if you need to go back and watch that, I'm okay with that. And there's no limit on how many times that you can actually submit for the winnings, so just keep writing the same comment over and over and over. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't have any problems with people doing multiple entries. And I'll have the video out on Friday, just saying who won and telling you what you need to do to get me to send this to you, which won't cost you anything. I just need to verify that it's you and that I can get your address, whatever, send it to you. If you have any comments or suggestions on maybe things I could do better, or if you have any questions about some of the things that I use, you're more than welcome to leave me a message. I will definitely get back to you on that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you did get any value or interest out of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And this is the type of video that you do like, making terrain, especially trash terrain. I'm going to be doing a lot of this. Give me a subscription. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos, because I'm trying to put out one a week right now. Y'all have a good day.